What's up everyone, Tom from the Airsoft headquarters here and welcome back. Ow! Today we're going to be talking about battle belts and you can probably already guess where it's going based on me smacking the table. Like always, going to give the heads up that I am not sponsored, but we can pretend I'm sponsored by the Arizona Peace Tea here. When it comes to battle belts, there's always different types of names when it comes to them. Battle belts, range belts, duty belts, combat belts, etc, etc, etc. And based on my experience and conversation in Google searches, YouTube research, it is mostly dependent on the manufacturer of the belt, the project that the individual plans to utilize the belt for, also just general terminology on the environment that that person is within as far as the firearm community, or maybe even the department as far as a work environment that that person may be in. You know, certain departments are going to call them duty belts versus some other departments in some other work environments are going to call them range belts. You know, it's just a very, very wide spectrum. However, when it comes down to it, I believe that all type of belt setups, regardless of what each person wants to call it, is going to be primarily just built very similarly to a plate carrier or chest rig to those individual person's personal needs and requirements for a setup. So the way I have mine set up is kind of just meal pieced together based on what I currently had available. I have some other parts coming that are still not available, but this would be the most complete and currently one of my most favorite battle belt setups that I have here, which I probably should make a note. I'm going to continue to call them battle belts. By no means is that the finalized definition. That's just what I'm going to refer to call them as. So heads up on that. Now, when it comes to the battle belt systems, I've had a couple and I've tried to utilize a couple over my years of Airsoft playing. When I first started utilizing a battle belt system, I utilized a Emerson gear style of battle belt, one of the cheaper ones that are the hexagon or the octagon shape with hard inserts, 3 rows of MOLLE, and then have the suspenders clips for putting them onto your chest or over your shoulders like a chest rig. So I wore this, and you know, the pros, it's cheap. Cons, it's cheap. While it certainly was very inexpensive, it didn't allow for a whole lot of comfort, but with being very inexpensive and kind of standardized as far as the MOLLE system, as well as the suspension clips here, it was very easy to get parts and accessories for this system. Overall, went away with this because due to those hard inserts, it did dig into my hips a little too much as I was riding around, and I did not enjoy that whatsoever. This was not for my comfort, and so I discontinued carrying it. The other system that I utilized was the Valken, or there's the Condor brand that I was utilizing, which was going to be multi-cam in coloration. I think I still have it, even with a different insert. So with these systems, advantage, they're inexpensive. Disadvantage, they're inexpensive, okay? When it comes to battle belts or airsoft gear in general, you get what you pay for. And while these systems, both the Condor and the Valken ones, are going to be more comfortable, have more padding inside of them, the excess of material allows for more weight and more momentum to be carried as you're running. So there's a significantly more momentum as it jostles around. If I were to put this on momentarily, with the same type of equipment that I would have currently on here, which is an array of magazines, a couple of grenades. This space right here is reserved for a pistol carrier as soon as I get that. Something is going onto the back here as well that I'm still trying to figure out. And then a smaller grenade system here. So overall, not a whole lot on this carrier system, but once that's put onto something like this, sure, you can put it down, and with that padding here, it doesn't dig into the hips nearly as much, but it does ride and jostle around a lot more. So overall, not a very comfortable system. I personally did not utilize this a whole lot, other than actually running the suspenders on the clips here and running it as a modified chest rig. That was more advantageous with these guys specifically, but it's not cool. And really, for what it was utilized, I could have easily just used a chest rig like this guy, and there's really no need to use this in the meantime. So went away with that. Still really want to get a battle belt system, more like the cool guys were utilizing, and so I ended up figuring out the Emerson Blue Line system. Again, not sponsored. I did pay for this full retail. Did not get it at any type of discount, just from working at a shop, so shut your mouth. What I liked about it is the idea that it was utilizing a Velcro interior that would be utilized as a standard belt system. And on the inside of this, I don't think I have it focused. There's Velcro on the inside here that's designed to line up with the soft side Velcro on the inner belt, and that would allow for a more rigid and tighter fitment on the body, or really on the hips. So I'm gonna take a second to throw this on and then show you how to throw this on. A quick note, I do tend to more often utilize a standard belt system in conjunction with the plate carrier. That allows me to just run a single Glock holster here, as well as running a dump pouch back here at my 7 o'clock position. However, with the excess of weight of a dump pouch, I've found that that is becoming more comfortable because it slaps against my ass, and so I tend to run my dump pouch now a little higher up on my plate carrier, and that now stops the dump pouch from riding so much around. You know, you can fit the MCKydex mag inserts or mag carriers on the belt as well, if they're designed for that, since they do have the molly clips on there. Or you can even get them with belt clips to go onto the side here. So every once in a while I'll run a spare mag there, but not a whole lot or whole often. So I'm going to take a second to change my belt out. All right, so when it comes to the battle belt inner belt, it goes directly onto the belt liners here on just a standard pair of pants. One thing to note, that you will need to tuck your shirt in. I know all the cool guys with their combat shirts and stuff don't like to tuck their shirt in, just let it hang loose. However, just so everything doesn't get cocked up on the battle belt magazine carriers, best to just tuck your shirt in. So really all it is just finding that middle spot. And I do need to shift it around just a little bit to get exactly where I want. Make sure that the exterior belt gets as much Velcro on it in the front and the back, and then all set. So like I said before, this would be one spot that I would want a pistol mag carrier or holster, or not pistol mag carrier, a pistol holster, excuse me, because I am right-hand based. So Glock pistol holster would go right here. So for part of this experiment, for some of the gameplay that I did utilize, I have the HSGI Male pistol mag carrier and M4 mag carrier, and then I have the MCKydex M4 mag carrier here, and then back here I have the newer, let me get it. It's Bite Mag something. The Laylax Battle Style Bite Mag Quick Mag Holder is what this guy is called. So I got it in a tiger stripe. I primarily got the entire magazine, primarily, well really 90% of the reason was it was in tiger stripe. I'm a huge tiger stripe fan. They also have it in woodland, multicam, and multicam black. So I ran these 3 mag carriers in order to test what would kind of be overall the best pouch for a battle belt system, especially with the newer system here. Now, first of all, you can kind of see just by look alone, the overall fitment on the battle belt layout. You know, one type of system is going to sit significantly higher than the other, and other magazines are going to sit lower than the other. As far as the highest system, because The MCKydex mag does sit a little higher compared to the bottom of the rest of the magazines, but the top is looser. Magazines in the MCKydex mag carrier tend to sit a little higher compared to the rest. The second would be the Laylax Battle Mag carrier, and then the mags out the lowest are going to be the HSGI. The reason why you wouldn't want your magazines to sit lower, within theory, is to have the weight of all your magazines be lower on your hips to allow for a lower center of gravity, to allow you to have more control over your momentum, how you turn your body, so on and so forth. If you do tend to be a little bit more top heavy, you know, it does require a little bit more effort to get yourself in different positions, especially if you tend to load all your stuff up like I do. So I'm going to be grabbing some magazines here to show you what those all look like as well, with magazines inside of there. Did I take all of my mags home? I really hope not. All right, so I just borrowed some of Brady's mags because unfortunately I ended up taking all of my same style of magazines home. So as you can see right there, the mag carrier that actually tends to hold the magazines up a little higher is going to be the Laylax Battle Mag, then the MCKydex, and then the HSGI. I did not intentionally position these mag carriers in this position. This is just how they ended up. Now, for someone who's going to be running nothing on the top of their body, this works out just fine. For anyone that's going to be running a plate carrier on the front, this system works fine. For anyone that wants to put a plate carrier on, they're going to be at a real disadvantage because plate carriers tend to sit about belly button height, and that with the cummerbund is going to completely cover everything on the side here. In fact, I will give you an example. There we go, that's all set. All right, so as you can see, with my 3x3 that I have here, standard on all of my other plate carriers for grenades, smokes, stuff like that, it does unfortunately cut off the top of some of my magazines. So the HSGI, being a little bit lower, does meet the clearance, but as soon as I want to lean to the left, that meets contact immediately. Same thing with the MCKydex ones here, just barely meets the top as I'm standing upright, but as soon as I lean over, boom, it gets in the way. With the Laylax, it's out of the way, but again, because it sits so much higher, it actually meets the very bottom of my cummerbund plate carrier. If I had any type of pouches back here that would hang any looser or lower, it would definitely cover up those magazines. Not an advantage. So people that want to run a battle belt system have to do it with no protection or with a chest rig system. Now, as you can see here, the HSGI has the most amount of cover of the magazine body to allow the most amount of retention of that magazine. The MCKydex has the least amount of magazine retention. However, it is completely adjustable. All of these magazines are actually adjustable. This one is a little easier because it has large rubber gaskets on the inside here to definitely change the amount of pressure that each magazine holds. I honestly could be hanging upside down, and these magazines are not going to come out. They do require quite a bit of, well, not quite a bit, because you can change it to more effort or less effort. So that will go in and sit in without any type of problem. The Laylax magazine carriers, again, has a middle amount of retention on the body of the magazine. And on top of that, it actually on the inside has a little clip, a little triangle post that comes in and bites at the inside of the magazine retention that would normally be on the inside of a rifle. There's a little tooth that catches that and it actually retains it. It has the bungee to apply pressure, but it also has a tooth to retain the magazine in that spot. And that's actually very genius on Laylax's part. I don't know if Laylax is actually manufacturing the magazines, full disclosure, but that's actually a really ingenious design. So I can put this to as little tension as possible, and it'll still hold and retain the magazines, and then just bite the inside part right there, just ow. So that can slide in easy peasy, and it clicks in with, you know, a solid audible click. So you know when you got it in there. Bam. And then again, I can retain it. I can tighten the retention or loosen the retention. Same thing with the HSGI here. Because this is going to be a fabric base, a nylon fabric base, the transition of pulling the magazine out does tend to be a little smoother. MCKydex, because it is going to be a hard plastic, a little bit tougher, physically retains everything. And then the bite mag, it's a smooth plastic, but it has that bite feature. So as soon as I get it past that, it is pretty much all the way out. As you can see, I had to pull quite a bit on the retention that I have it here. Releases, the mag carrier falls down on my body, and then there's only that much left while it's still residing inside of the mag carrier. So everything holds magazines very, very well. What are some of the downsides of each single magazine carrier? The HSGI, because it does cover up so much of the magazine body, it doesn't allow me to really get a good grip, especially if I have a pistol mag inside of here. If I have a pistol mag out, then I can actually get a full finger inside of there in order to pull it out and put it inside of my magazine. And actually, I personally would have my magazines like that. In my personal opinion, the way that I would have these magazines set up, and because I'm gonna pull them fairly quickly, I'm gonna put my magazines in. Each one pulls in and holds in really, really well. I'm actually gonna put this one in here, this one in here. So because I don't run a dump pouch, I do have to do what is called magazine retention. I wish I had a fourth mag. Anyway, so I'm gonna be sitting here, shoot, 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 shoot. And then as soon as I need to swap my magazines, I need to pull either the mag inside of the mag carrier and swap it with the existing one, or I need to pull the one that's inside of the rifle and then transition the one inside of here. The empty mag then goes inside of this magazine carrier. Now, if I'm going to transition the empty magazine without looking, that time I actually got it. But inside of an Airsoft combat, when I pull it and I need to get it back in, if I don't get it just right, and I'm trying to do this blind so that I don't sway it, either by looking down or by looking inside of the camera viewing. So yeah, that took me a little bit longer than expected. With the MCKydex, again, shoot, 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 pull the magazine, grab the next magazine, pull out, go in, and then when I need to put the empty magazine inside of MCKydex, it's cut so that it slides in. The very top part is a little bit wider than the magazine itself, so it actually has ample amount of room for it to slide inside of there. Laylax magazine time, boom, 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 boom. Empty magazine, pull, and in. Easy, easy peasy. And then if I need to pull it back, it's actually a little bit more convenient from the HSGI and the MCKydex. So in my personal, humble opinion, the HSGI is the least convenient, although the most comfortable. The MCKydex being, you know, the least amount of magazine retention, especially, or the most amount of magazine retention, the most adjustable amount of magazine retention. However, in the case of using gas blowback style of magazines, or even real loaded rifle magazines, they do have quite a bit more weight, and so there's not enough body of the magazine carrier to sit or to fully retain those magazines. So I've had these magazines fall out on me, the gas blowback ones, and with the entire function of the magazine being broken on a $50 magazine by cracking those feed lips. Very expensive failure and not something I personally want to happen. It's not an issue on the mag carrier side. On an AEG magazine, it slides in and retains in and holds in absolutely no problem. The only issue is with gas blowback style of magazines. So that is where it gets a middle ground assessment. And then the Laylax style of magazines personally get the best review because it has that bite style, it's in tiger stripe, and it will still hold and retain gas blowback magazines. The HSGI does the exact same thing with the gas blowback magazines, but again, with that nylon and with the weight, it tends to be a little looser in fitment, which I'm personally not a fan of. But those are all just my personal opinions of the mag carrier systems. And honestly, I've rambled on for quite a long time. I have a small little grenade carrier from MCKydex as well. These I have the the Burst XLs or the, what's the other name for them? Shoot, the Cyclone. So it's the Burst XL or the Cyclone, or even if you run a 40 mic, that'll go down there. I personally put all of my 40 mic stuff facing down. That way I don't get a shower of BBs directly up in my face. Some people will like to run them like that, but again, if something does happen, that's a lot of BBs coming directly under my chin. I also have an original Tornado, which doesn't really fit inside of here, which is why they make multiple sizes, which I have my Tornado 2, my BB expelling one back there, which also holds and retains my original Tornado as well. Holds that easy peasy. Pistol would go here. So when I do shooty, shoot, and then I need to do something with the bad guy in a different room, I can reholster, pull a grenade with the cover of a buddy, throw, re-pistol up, and go and do what I need to do. Or even grab a rifle. So that's currently what I have on there as of right now. Overall, really, really good experience, even with running and doing different types of positions with this, even laying down. Overall, had a very, very good experience with this type of battle belt system. And again, these are just my personal opinions. So overall, I really, really like them. At least this setup here. And again, that is all 100% dependent on which type of battle belt you tend to go with. With the battle belt system, I personally would not run one again with a plate carrier or even with a full set of chest rig loadout system. Reason being is, even with a chest rig as small as it is, I have this thing designed to where I can go an entire day and carry all of the equipment that I need for my loadout in this system. So I have it set up to where I don't need to run an entire battle belt system either. It also doesn't entirely make sense since I had this one set up for MP5 magazines, but I ran it just as a small little chest and belly protection against BB impacts. Personally, I would rather run this, as minimalist as it is, as a independent battle loadout system. I don't run a battle or a dump pouch on this just due to weight mitigation, or at least weight transference mitigation. You know, when I have all of my either grenades or magazines, especially the gas blowback style of magazines, that's a lot of weight right there. And I take all of those magazines and even grenades and I put them into a single dump pouch. That's a lot of weight that's now transferred what was evenly around my waist into one focused position. And it's all slapping me in the ass as I'm running. Overall, not a fun or enjoyable time. So instead of running a dump pouch, you would do mag retention or equipment retention, which would be as soon as you throw your grenade, you would then, after it goes off, go pick it up and either put it inside of your chest rig if you're running a chest rig, or directly back onto your battle belt, just like that. So, and again, these are all my personal opinions, and that, I think, is everything. So if you guys have any further questions, put them down in the comments section below. I'll do my very best to answer them. And with that, we're all done here. So you guys take care, stay safe, stay positive, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.